Hello and welcome to a guide of the northern area of the Eternal Battlegrounds. So, looking at the map, I'm going to be touring the 4 towers, the keep, and the eastern supply camp. I leave the western supply camp alone basically because it's so far out of everything, it just stands on its own. So I'm approaching the northern entrance to the keep. It's a double door, which is standard on the keeps in the direction of the spawn points, nearest spawn points of the area. So moving on to this tower. The keep overlooks the tower can overlook the keep. Well, certainly can shoot at it. And they're basically so close to each other, it's just silly. You've got these 2 destructible walls here, facing a southerly direction. And you have the door of the tower itself, which faces directly towards the keep. The keep could strike that door with a catapult, should it wish. Now the tower itself has got all this grassy area up top, and you can place these equipment on here. Not a problem. You can place ballistas on here, cover the front area in front of the gate down there. Place trebuchet on here and fire at the keep, depending on who owns what. And you can also cover the area from the spawn point. So we'll move on a little bit to look at the supply camp. There's no just there. That's a sneaky way of getting up, meaning whereby you can skip the southeastern tower completely and get around that and get up to this point without being attacked. However, let's have a look at the supply camp. It's an excellent line for defense. If you get in here and you build up ballistas, arrow carts, you've got all these straight lines, you've got all these narrow corridors to get into here, so it's very easy to defend and makes it nigh on impossible for the enemy to dig you out. The only way they can probably reach you is to make some kind of group invisibility and gain a bit of distance on you before they suddenly appear and start attacking you. So again here, ballista is king. The enemy's funneled into this area. And we just come out at the other end of the little valley that we just looked down before. And the tower is not attackable from this side. But, oh, and up there lie ogres, and you can make friends with them, and they'll come down and attack the gate guards here. They won't actually attack the gate itself though. So if you want to start attacking the towers on the eastern side and the north, you want to move into that supply camp and set up shop. It'll take them probably a lot of people to dig you back out of there, meaning that your team can start making good advances in other areas, even if you fail. If you succeed, you can start taking these towers. So you've got this structural wall that's possibly in range of the keep. Bear in mind the keep has altitude, therefore the trebuchet has extra range, it's probably in range of that. Most towers have this little hut. It looks suspiciously like you can build siege equipment on it, so if you don't have any high ground inside a tower or keep, perhaps building on top of there will give you the extra altitude to give you the arc of fire to defend the front gate. Anyway, this tower, similar to the previous tower, has a lot of land with it at the back, and again this is within spitting distance of the keep, and this in particular has a good view of the front gate of the tower, so there you can see that they can shoot at each other. But if you want to attack this eastern area, taking this tower is definitely a good way to go forwards, simply because you can then move on to the tower, you can move on to the keep, the choice is yours. It's fairly easy to defend because you've got all this land to build upon. So here you can just see the other side of that house. We also have line of sight on the southern entrance to the keep, and bear in mind the mortar that's just out the other side, that, well, if it's built, would be about here. You can shoot just in front of that southern entrance to the keep, and you can probably strike it with a trebuchet from somewhere inside the bounds of this tower. You've got all the areas of the south there that attacking force can raise a trebuchet to strike the front door on. Strike it with, sorry. And you just have a standard front here for raising arrow cart ballista. I accidentally got too near the little red portal and it took me through inside. Anyway, there's an outer wall to the outer wall of the keep, but that outer wall has no gate in it, so you just run through there. It just basically funnels you there. We're approaching the castle. That's our first look. Up here in the hills you might be able to build a trebuchet to attack the castle, but that southeastern tower doesn't have the range to strike the walls. So unlike the southwest, where both towers had the range to strike the castle, the reds don't have that ability from the southeastern tower. So they need to get a good force together to defend their siege equipment in the open if they're attacking from that side. Whizzing past the gate and moving on to district wall and the southwestern tower. Now this tower, it isn't covered from the keep, it essentially stands on its own. There is to my right a very high cliff face, and if a large force controls that cliff face, then essentially they control this tower. As you'll see towards the end of this video when I go up there. However, there's a destructible wall as well as a destructible gate on the front. There's another destructible wall facing to the north here. Now that's interesting because just over there is, in front of us, is another tunnel into the dredge area. So an enemy can pop out on the north side of this tower quite easily. From up here you can strike the castle from these walls. There's also a little area behind me now, just down the far side from where I'm jumping, which you might be able to raise some siege equipment again. But interesting, there's a little nook around here. Now you might not realise why it's interesting to me, but that's because of this cliff up here. It can't see into it, so I can place a catapult, I can place a trebuchet, and I can cover the front gate. Essentially from there, that's why I'm interested in that. So we progress around a little bit further. Notice all the dredge coming out. That's because the dredge mines have just been taken. So the Greens have raised their friend status with them by doing their little missions, and now they're going to fight for them. So there's a group going across east towards the keep, and they're going to stand at the the north keep gate and attack the NPCs there. And there's another group going towards the supply camp, and they're going to attack the NPCs there. Now this tower, as you'll notice, lacks a lot of walls. What it does have in abundance is bridges. Now the bridges you can attack from the ground. Might need siege equipment, might not. I haven't tested it unfortunately. And from around the end of these walls here, you can place a ballista and shoot onto the bridge. So it says any siege equipment built on those bridges by a defending force that can be taken out. To the north there, you get a line of sight essentially from the spawn of the reds, and we'll have a look at that right at the end of the video. But for now, there's two structural walls there, and there's a gate, so it's quite vulnerable from the northwest. It's very far away from that keep, so has very little assistance in its defence from there, in fact none whatsoever. And even right at the far end here, where you might build some siege equipment again, normally to attack the keep, I don't know that you have the range. There's only at the top of that, there's only one bit of wall there that I could see that was facing the right direction, maybe even in range. So I'm thinking that this certainly isn't defensible from the keep. It might not even be able to strike the keep from its walls, so kind of not so interesting. Still, it's worth points. But if we just look back down here, you can see that you can see straight into the enemy's defences there. And even start targeting people, for goodness sake. So, you got that going on. It's not a particularly great place to defend. That's where I expect that little cut towards the north there is where I expect you to build a trebuchet and strike at the doors. But we're going to go and have a little look inside of the keep now. As I approach the gates, you should see the dredge coming up from the side. They've only just made it. I don't know what they've been doing, but they've made it at long last, and they're going to attack these NPCs. They won't take the gate for you, but they will help you. So we're inside. We've gone through two doors just then. This is the Keep Lord. He has area of effect damage, nearly instant kill. Can be instant kill against some people if they have low health. And you've got two doors coming in here. This one to the west. You'll see that's at the top of a long winding approach. But we're just going to go clockwise around here. So there's 2 oil emplacements. So the back of this door, because it's quite deep, you can place siege equipment without risk of it being damaged by a effect fire from the front. So this is a good place to build a defense. Also, defense there can cover the keep lord if the enemy should breach the area. You got these little bits of land outside of the keep itself, not accessible unless you're in the keep itself, and therefore you can cover the whole of the tower. As you can see, I can select the gate there, so it's within catapult range, probably ballista range on some of the on front lip of the wall there. So you have quite a commanding view of that. Over there you can see the other tower. Again, you can fire your trebuchet right down into that, so you have a command over that as well, as it, if you let it, can have a command over you up here. Now, to the south is the southern gate approach. You have high ground up here, which you can build catapults, arrow carts, ballistas, so you have the advantage. High ground giving catapults and trebuchet extra range, but also meaning that trebuchet and catapult have to be built closer to you in order to strike higher up the wall. So I know you've got a few destructible walls down there, and it was only the western most destructible wall that appeared to be even close to that northwest tower, which you can just see out to the top of the screen there. Okay, so we're going to go for a little wander up here. There were some steps into the wall a little bit down the hill there. I don't know if you saw that. I didn't investigate what's down there, so that's something I want to have a look at anyway when the game comes out. So just underneath the nice big statue, and that's the southern gate. You can see there all that raised ground you can build upon. It's an absolute gift. Defending this keep is just so straightforward. So you don't really want to build the catapults too far down. Up here is good because of the arc of fire. They have a minimum range, and if you build them next to the edge, you can overshoot, which you don't want to do. So there's plenty of places here to build ballista and arrow carts to cover the enemy with it and be able to shoot back at you. And fall on my face again. Yep, this should be an area of death really if you've done it right. And around the side here, now you can go this way around from the southern gate. You can come at it from the far side, which I'm going to essentially jump down. There's the wall with the gates that you just run through because there's nothing there to stop you. And that's all a little bit fast. And if you want to have a little look, you can pause it. But we're going to go up this hill up here to my left. And that approach was the other approach to get to that bit of land just outside the keep there. So you can go up from this side. So I'm going to go up this tower that overlooks the southwestern tower. So I'm going to go up this hill that looks over the southwestern tower. You could have this whole approach could be overlooked from above me. So you could have ballistas, arrow carts impeding my approach. And by the time I get to the top of this hill, I'm not in good health. This whole area, you need a large group to control it. Because it's in the open, it just takes another Zerg to run up here and wipe everything off. You've got no walls to act as a defense. It's a delaying tactic. That's why I think the Reds have a slightly harder time than anybody else. But from up here, you can strike the walls of the keep. You can strike the walls of the tower out this side, and to the south, you can strike the walls of the castle. So you probably want a large force up here anyway. It's a very tactically important position. You can see by that map there. Now, the thief hasn't gone away, but strangely I'm able to teleport in combat. Now this is part of the stress test 3, and you couldn't do that before, so I don't know what happened there. Anyway, this is the area to the west of the spawn point. I'm now in the area where I can build siege equipment, and that's in range of trebuchet that you can put here. That's what I'm showing you. But you also have all this area out this way that you can run along unimpeded by another enemy force. So you can break out of here if you do get pinned in. You've got plenty of places to go. But they can't come up here by the looks of things. At least I didn't see an obvious spot. And that's the end of the video. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Goodbye.